Hello and welcome to Online Arbitrage for Beginners. This full in-depth course on Amazon FBA online arbitrage. My name is Hayden Davidson and I am super excited to take you through part one of this series, this multiple series course for beginners starting out on online arbitrage. Now, this course is completely free. There's no charge for this course, and some of you may be thinking that this is just a course that is going to have an upsell at the end of it, and there must be a reason that I'm giving this away for free. Now, this is completely free, and I'll go into why it's free very soon. There's no upsell on this course. This is not a course to try and get you into a mentorship or anything like that. This is a genuine free course, okay, that I've provided to you as a thank you and sort of a give back for all the people that helped me when I was starting out with online arbitrage quite some time ago. So I'm not a guru, I'm not an expert in this, but this is my experience that I've learned over the last almost year and a half now of doing online arbitrage, getting to six figures, earning a nice regular income from it so that I can give back to you. Now, I don't ask anything in return. You feel free to just watch this video and do what you like with it to hopefully build your own successful business. But one thing I would say is if you are going to watch it, then please make sure that you cut out your distractions. Give back to me a little bit by just cutting out your distractions. That's all I say. So it's time to stop watching the cat videos. Stop watching any funny videos out the vortex on YouTube that we always get stuck into. If you want to learn this stuff, if you're serious about this stuff, then this is the time. This is the video. This is the correct video that you've stumbled upon. You don't need to watch anything else. I'm going to go through step by step absolutely everything that I can divulge to you in words that I know about getting started with online arbitrage. So sit tight. I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you soon. So just quickly before we go in, as a quick disclaimer, I cannot guarantee any earnings. This is a free course, no charge whatsoever. It's just my opinion to you. So there's a quick disclaimer, which I have to say for certain reasons. So let's go into it. Let me just give you a quick content overview of this course. So this is part one, as I mentioned. There's going to be multiple parts coming soon. So the first thing is going to be about me. So I'm just going to run through a quick about me. So who am I? Who is Hayden Davidson? And what is How to Amazon, the YouTube channel? We're going to give an online arbitrage detailed overview. We're also going to do how online arbitrage FBA works, because some of you may not know how it works. We're going to do common questions and analogies and getting started and making money with online arbitrage. We're also going to do what you need to get started. So all the tools, resources, groups, anything like that, free stuff, whatever, anything you need to get started, anything that I think will help you as well. And then how to set up your Amazon account. That's quite a big one. How could you actually set up your Amazon account? And then we're also going to do next steps on what I think you should be doing in order to get started. So that's the layout of this. That's the layout of what we're going to run through today. So firstly, who am I? Who's Hayden, and why have I created this completely free, in-depth online arbitrage course? Because there may be some of you that are still thinking at the moment, well, this is too good to be true. You know, there's people with courses, but they sell them for hundreds of pounds or thousands of pounds. Why have I stumbled on this course, which is completely free, by some random dude called Hayden on How to Amazon? It's quite simple, okay? Firstly, I've been selling since 2019. I'm a six-figure seller based in the UK. I do Amazon full-time. I'm building Amazon full-time as one of my main incomes in order to give me complete freedom. I created this course with the same motivation that pushed me into creating my YouTube channel, okay? And my free Facebook group, to help others and to document my journey, okay? Quite simply, I was bored of seeing all of these gurus that were just selling courses that over-fluctuated prices, okay? They were selling these courses for over-fluctuated prices, which quite frankly was a lot of the information you could get on the internet. So I thought I wanted to make a change, give back, and create this completely for free, okay? I was inspired to do this by Gary Vaynerchuk. Now, that some of you may know him, let me know in the comments if you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is. I'm a big fan. Okay, now he inspired me. So, if there's a way of you understanding why I'm giving this away for free and why you should be listening to this and why there's no catches and I'm not upselling you to a mentorship, you don't have to give me anything. Okay, I don't expect anything in return. Is Gary V inspired me to do this? So if you want to think of me as anyone, think of me as the Amazon FBA version of Gary V. I just want to give it all away. Okay, so that's the truth. There's no need to be skeptical anymore. That's the truth. I'm just going to give this all away because I want to. Okay. So first of all, what do I love about online arbitrage? Let's talk about what I love about online arbitrage. Let's go through a few main points because online arbitrage, quite frankly, has given me freedom and it's given me inspiration. I've learned so much from it about building a business, etc. And there's so many ways that it could help you as well. Okay, so that's personal and professional life that it can help you. Some of the stuff that I love is right here. So firstly, it's so fast and easy to get started. Okay, it's really, really fast and easy to get started. So in these modules that I'm going to show you exactly how you can get started pretty fast selling online arbitrage, selling with online arbitrage. I'm going to go through step by step, setting stuff up, what tools you need, the resources, your Amazon account, and then some videos in the future. We're going to go into sourcing and prepping and selling and maintenance and management of your account, scaling up, wherever you want to go, whatever you want to do, we're going to go into that. Okay, so it's really fast and easy to get started. That's something I love. It's low barrier to entry. Now, obviously, this comes with its downsides as well, but a major upside of this business is that it's very low barrier to entry, which means that you can literally get started today. As soon as your FBA products hit the fulfillment centers, you could get a sale. Another thing I love is it's very scalable. So we'll go into this later on, but I've currently got a few virtual assistants. I'm just about to take on 2 more virtual assistants. I've outsourced my prep to the prep center, and I'm actually looking to go traveling as soon as we're out of this lockdown, depending on when you're watching this. We're in lockdown at the moment in the UK. So it's a very scalable business, which is allowing me to have the freedom to go and do what I want and travel and build multiple income streams online. So it's a very nice income stream which can be made slightly passive. Another thing is it's easy to understand. It's quite an easy to understand business. It's not a very complex business. You don't have to spend months and months and months. Although you have to spend months and months and months getting better at your craft, you don't have to spend months before you can start the business. You can get started today. And as I just mentioned, do it from anywhere in the world, which I've just been through. So I'm just about to start doing some more travels as soon as possible. And I can actually run this business from anywhere in the world and still not be capped running it anywhere in the world. You can also make some pretty big margins and return on investment and profit if you do it correctly, which I'm going to go into in this video about all the different ways that you can actually do this. So, for those of you who don't know, what is online arbitrage? Okay, what is it? So, quick sip of water. Make sure you go get yourself a coffee or tea. Pause the video and get yourself coffee or tea if you need to. So, what is online arbitrage? Okay, online arbitrage is an online business model which takes advantage of the price fluctuations from different marketplaces. You can make money by sourcing and purchasing many different products from everyday well-known retailers all over the country or indeed all over the world. So depending on where you're watching this, I'm in the UK, but you can work in the USA, you can work in Canada, you can work in Australia, you can work in wherever Amazon is, you can do this business model. Okay, the fluctuations in the market are always there and they're always going to be there. There's always fluctuations, okay? This business model is easy to set up and does not require you to be in a physical location if you do not want to, or own a storefront to be able to reach thousands of people and customers on a monthly basis, okay? You can do this from anywhere in the world and reach thousands of customers, okay? Every single marketplace has fluctuations. Every single product that you see online can be found at a cheaper place elsewhere. If it's a big brand, it can always be found at different prices in different retailers, different marketplaces, eBay, Amazon, retail stores, all these different stores all over the country and the world. Okay, so that's what online arbitrage takes advantage of. All you mainly need to start online arbitrage is an Amazon account and products to sell. It truly is possible to sell hundreds or thousands of items on a monthly basis just buying them from retail stores. Now, it may be hard to believe because I didn't think it was possible when I started. I thought, why don't people just buy them at that better price? And the reality is that prime customers, some of them are quite lazy, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. We're all lazy sometimes, and some of them don't mind paying extra for convenience. And some people simply don't know you can get it cheaper, or they don't want to pay the additional delivery charges. So they're quite happy to spend an extra few pounds having it delivered by Amazon. And that's the truth of it, okay? That is the truth of that. So what could you expect to earn with Amazon? And by the way, you've probably noticed by now, this is a no fluff course. I don't like any fluff whatsoever. I just want to dive straight into it, okay? So what can you expect to earn from Amazon? The reality is that online arbitrage is hardly capped. I know of sellers that earn extremely good incomes from online arbitrage. Although it takes some good work ethic to get there and hard work to scale, there's no reason you could not build £1 million business using the online arbitrage business model. I know quite a few sellers that do 7 figures or have done 7 figures in general. I know sellers that have done 8 figures, okay? I know people that are making a lot of money from this and some people that are not making that much money from it. You can pivot the business model and you can pivot your income around the risk that you're willing to take and the amount that you want to earn. You can pivot that. So it's sometimes important to decide where you want to take this business before you even start this business. Online arbitrage, along with retail arbitrage, can also serve as a great entry-level method to selling on Amazon. The truth is that the level of which you can scale your Amazon business is limitless from what you can earn from running an online arbitrage business or a retail arbitrage business. You can also move into other opportunities on Amazon after this. So there's things like wholesale and private label and sort of bundling and stuff and creating your own listings on Amazon, brand listing, brand suppliers. You can actually move into other areas. Now, there's some people that just stick to OA. There's some people that just stick to RA and they make a lot of money from it. Some 7-figure sellers just do OA, RA. It's an entry-level business, but it doesn't have to be, okay? But it is an entry-level business if you want it to be, in which case it can lead on to things like wholesale and brand deals and private label, and it truly is limitless once you're up there. There's way over 8-figure sellers in doing wholesale and brand deals and things like that. So it truly is limitless. It can be an entry-level business or it can be a long-term business, online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, whatever you want to do. So, how do you actually start earning money from online arbitrage? What's the actual process of FBA? So it's quite simple, really. You find profitable products to sell by searching them with specific tools and data which help you to do that. And I'll show you step by step how to do this in later videos within this series. I will dive into exactly how you can analyze deals, how you can find deals, analyze deals, source deals, buy deals, sell deals, prep deals. I'm going to go into the lot, okay? Once you've sourced items that look profitable, you box them up together in shipping boxes, and I'll once again show you how to do that later, and you send them into the fulfillment centers using usually UPS or your chosen courier, okay? And you get discount rates for doing that, okay? So it's not a lot of money to send huge boxes. Some of the boxes I send have got 70, 80 items. Well, I don't send them. My prep center sends them. They've got 70 or 80 items in them, and it's under £4 to send them, so minus VAT because I'm VAT registered. So it's quite simple, really. It can be really, really quite simple. When the shipments arrive in the fulfillment centres, your items will go live and you will be able to track the sales coming in from the Seller Central app or your desktop. Rinse and repeat the process and scale as you wish with VAs and prep centres. So as I just mentioned, I've got virtual assistants that do most of my work for me. I work at about an hour and a half to 2 hours a day in my business, and the rest of the time I'm working on the business or on other income streams which I'm creating, because this truly does give you the potential to build a passive income if you wish. I've got a prep center that does all my products for me, but you wouldn't want to do that to start with. You'll be prepping it yourself to start with, I would think, unless you need to use a prep center from the start, in which case that's absolutely fine. I'm going to go into all this, okay? I'm going to go into it. Now, I want to run into a few common questions that you get about Amazon, because a lot of people wonder, am I going to get any sales or anything like that? Because they think that Amazon's competitive. And yes, Amazon is competitive. Okay, there's no doubt about it. Amazon is competitive. But like any business, there's tricks of the trade and there's ways to get around this, which I'm going to dive into. Okay, but just to answer this quickly, Amazon does have a lot of competition. But it's also possible to get thousands or tens of thousands of sales on the platform if you know what you are doing. You cannot expect to buy random items though and watch them sell. You need to train yourself in reading the historical data and analysing products, similar to reading stocks but slightly easier to predict. Okay, and I'm going to teach you how to do that in the future courses. I'm going to teach you how to do this, but you need to look at the history of products, okay? So unlike private label or some brand deals that you could get or some ways that you probably think you sell on Amazon, you have to start from scratch and you have to spend a lot of money on advertising to get that listing, to get that SKU seen by other people, okay, to ultimately sell your product. It's a bit different with online arbitrage. You've already got sales. A massive bonus is you've already got sales coming to that listing. So your job is to assess the competition, assess the selling price, assess the consistency of the price, assess the consistency of the sales rank, assess how many sales you're going to be getting, and that, as well as a few other things, is going to calculate your buying decision, and then you choose how many items you're going to buy after that. And once again, I'm going to teach you how to do this, okay? There's always a risk some items of not selling, but if you watch all of this training in detail in the series, I will give you the best possibility of buying products that have a very good chance of selling. I will be doing a detailed step-by-step deep dive later in this series into sourcing and purchasing. I promise you nothing will be left out of this, so just stay with us, carry on through the whole thing. If you want to do this, then you've got to stick to the whole thing. Okay, I can't say that enough times, right? I'm giving this all to you for free. Please don't waste it, okay? Please don't waste it. So let's look at what makes some people fail with online arbitrage, because there's always people that don't work out. Let me just have a sip of water. There's always going to be people that fail with online arbitrage. There's always going to be people that fail with property. There's going to be people that fail with stocks. There's always people. What's the difference? Okay, what do most people fail with online arbitrage? From my experience, from what I see in my Facebook group and in this YouTube channel, things like that. The truth is, some people expect this to be a get-rich-quick scheme, okay, which does not exist, as you know. And as soon as they realise that it's not, they give up. That's the truth, okay. So a lot of people that I see, it's amazing how they expect this to happen. They DM me, they PM me. I've got quite a few thousand followers across different platforms and social medias that I'm on. People DM me when they see my stuff, and they assume that it happened overnight, and they assume that I'm a lot wealthier than I am, you know. And they think to themselves, oh, right, let's do this. I think in 6 months' time, I'm going to be here. You know, for example, I had someone message me today actually, and they said, my plan is within the next 6 months to 12 months earn £10,000 a month, okay? Now, there's situations where that is possible, but in reality for most people, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, okay? With many businesses, with most businesses, that's not going to happen that soon. So lack of patience is one of the main ones. Lack of understanding and being quite naive sometimes can actually be a serious downfall. We've all been there. I'm not criticising anyone, but it can be a downfall to be naive and think that you're going to pick this business up a lot quicker than you actually will, just like any business, okay? Some people expect too much too soon, and they give up when they do not receive results quick enough. Unfortunately, there's a lot of gurus on Amazon, on YouTube, that sell this as a bit of a get-rich-quick scheme. I'm here to tell you that it's not. Unfortunately, it's not, okay? We all wish it was, but then again, it wouldn't be a viable business model if it was after a pretty short amount of time. Some people do not realise that you have to treat this like a real business, because it is. In order to succeed, it requires hard work. It requires discipline and long-term vision. If you're not willing to stick with this out over a long period of time, if you're not willing to put in the work to make this a proper business, grow this to a serious level, and that level is whatever it means to you, by the way. I mean a serious level as in whatever you're happy with, putting in the right systems and putting the right systems and criteria in place to make that happen, then it's not going to work for you. you've got to stick this out for a long enough time to see results. And that is honestly why most people fail. Okay, they're not willing to pivot, and they expect too much profit too soon. They expect too much ROI too soon. They expect too little competition. If the barrier to entry is low, the more competition you get. But the more people drop out, because the more people that don't stick to it, that means that once you get over a certain period of time in this game, once you stick with this to a certain period of time, you start seeing the gaps. And I can't describe this until you do it. It's hard to begin with, it gets easier over time, and then when you start to work smarter, it gets a lot easier. Okay, and I can't say too much more. Like any business, if the longer you're in it, the more successful you have, the more chance of being successful you have. So, getting started, let's dive straight in. So the first step is to make a commitment. Now I know a lot of people are like, oh, here we go, like I've done a lot of courses, paid courses, which this isn't, obviously. I understand that this is quite a generic thing to have in there, but please don't skip it, because this is really, really important. Listen to me when I say this. Please, please, please do not start this course unless you are going to fully commit. Please do not start or get into this business model or any business model if you're not willing to commit long term. You've got to think of this business just like you were starting an accountancy firm, just like you're starting a vet, just like you're starting a gardening business, right? Any business that you would consider a proper, real business, this is that, and you've got to think of it like that. Otherwise, it's not going to be around for very long for you. It takes dedication and commitment, so there's no point going through this detailed step-by-step free course, which has taken me days and days and days of hard work to put together for you for free, by the way, for free. If you're not going to sit through it all, then don't bother, because you're just doing yourself an injustice. You may as well spend your time doing something else. Make a commitment now to focus on this, or just stop watching. I would say to yourself, plan to yourself when you're going to watch these videos. Okay, if you can see all the videos here, depending on when you're watching this, just make a plan, make a schedule, and watch all of the videos. Okay, you cannot do this if you don't watch all of the videos. This is video 1, okay, and more are coming out or are already out, depending on when you're watching this. Make a commitment, put it in the diary, watch all the videos. If you just watch this one and you don't watch the other ones, then there's no point doing it. Okay, watch all the videos if you're serious about this. Everything is here. You don't need to buy any other course from anyone. I want to go through the common terms with Amazon FBA. Okay, so let's dive straight in. So this is we've gone through the intro. Now this is getting started. Okay, so get your tea, get your coffee, or whatever. Let's dive into it. Okay, let's go to the common terms with online arbitrage. Okay, because you hear all these slang words, like in my Facebook group, for example, as well, which is. By the way, I have a completely free Facebook group. There's no upsell in it whatsoever. There's just like this course, completely free. Great people in there. It's in the comments below. It's in the description. So make sure you join that. You can ask as many questions as you need. Loads of great sellers in there. But within my group and within other groups, you see terminology. And when you're a new seller, it's quite hard to understand what that actually means. So let's go through a few of the most common terminologies within online arbitrage. So the first thing you'll see, as the same as the title, is OA. So what is OA? So it's online arbitrage, pretty self-explanatory. And let's go through the others. So RA is retail arbitrage. PL is private label. FBA is fulfillment by Amazon. FBM is fulfilled by merchant. Sorry, I made a mistake there. It's fulfilled by merchant. FC is fulfillment center. Buybot Pro is Buybot Pro. PPP is Profit Protector Pro, and we'll explain what all of them are later. But I wanted to just run through them in case you need to head back to this when you're talking to someone in the Amazon community and you don't want to act like you don't know anything. We've all been there, of course. So let's go through some of the most common questions within starting out on Amazon. Okay, some of the most common questions that come up in my group and on YouTube channels and all these places. I just want to have all in one place to get all this information. So, do you need to set up a limited company? Do I need to set up a limited company? Now, I'm not an accountant, so I cannot give this advice, okay? But I set up a limited company because it was the right thing to do for me. You do not have to. There are benefits to both, okay? I cannot give tax advice. As I say, I'm not a tax pro. I use some of the best accountants in the industry, okay, which they are in the description below, by the way. I use some of the best accountants in the industry who can help with any questions or queries, okay? So if you do need to speak to them, they'll be happy to do that for free, okay? Just look at the form below, get in touch if you want. They'll be happy to talk to you for free. You don't have to, give them any money to do that. I'm sure they'll be happy to just say, that's cool, yeah, let's answer any questions, okay? Or post them in my group, okay? To summarise though, no, you do not need to, but it makes easier. It can be easier and less risky down the line if you do set one up now. So I've heard of a few horror stories from people that didn't set up a limited company to start with, and they tried to switch to one later, switch it on their Amazon FBA account. Most of the time it's fine, but I have heard a few horror stories where it wasn't fine, and they restricted some people's account for a certain period of time, which obviously had a massive impact on the sales and the profit you're making. So I've heard some horror stories, okay? So that's why I decided to set up a limited company from the start. Also because I knew that it was going to be limited moving forwards, I thought I may as well just get it over and done with and set up a limited account. Once again, not saying that's necessarily the right thing to do. That's what I did. There's benefits to both. Do you need to set up a business account? Now, I would suggest you do need to set up a business account, even if you're not going to set up a limited company. It is a good idea to keep things separate so it does not confuse your accountant when you come to doing your books at the end of each year. If you want to set up a professional account, which you need when you're selling on Amazon, you need a professional account really, unless you're seriously just selling a few items. Then you need a business bank account with that. So yes, if you're going to take this half seriously, then yes, but by all means, you definitely need a business account because that's going to be where all of your outgoings are and where your disbursements are when they're coming out of Amazon, okay? So let's look at how much you need to start. Let's see how much you need to get started, okay, on selling on Amazon. Just the screen there a bit. God, well, your mouth gets a bit dry when you're doing all this stuff because I'm doing it straight without any stops, as you can see. So I'll just keep things genuine as much as I can. So how much do I need to start? You can start with very little, okay? Under £500 you can start with. I know loads of people that have done this. However, I would suggest starting with about 3k or more, only if you can afford to. The benefit with starting with more cash to invest is obviously faster growth with faster sales. However, I would not suggest putting in too much at the early stages before you get used to the whole process and understand the business a bit more, okay? If you put in too much money to start with, okay, this is a bit of a bittersweet sort of situation, okay? If you put in too much money to start with, then you're at serious risk of getting burnt, okay? It's nice to have that pot there, but even if you've got loads of money, I wouldn't start spending loads of money on online arbitrage, retail arbitrage. You've got to test a few products before you get started. Mistakes are guaranteed. I said almost guaranteed there. I would say guaranteed. You are guaranteed to make some mistakes, but don't let it put you off because it's a learning curve. Usually you can break even or make a tiny bit of money on these products. Only very few have I actually lost money in the past. But I'm not saying that can't happen. Obviously it can happen. Even if you've got a lot of money, it's important to not put it all in to start with. However, if you haven't got much money at all, okay, you can start with about £500. But I think starting with a lump that's at least £3,000 will help you with things like motivation and the inspiration to keep going. Because obviously, like any business, it can be a little bit slow to start with, okay? So I'd say the ideal lowest amount is 3k. The more, the better. But you want to, over time, you want to start giving more of your money into the business. You don't want to just plunk 10 grand in and start buying a load of random products because you could get seriously burned. Incrementally push it out, okay? But you can start with very little money. So by the way, so that'll put you off if you don't want to. You just need some serious commitment and motivation to keep going, okay? I do know a lot of people that started with less, £250 in some cases. I started personally with about £3,000, then I started putting in more. So what do you need to get started? So the first thing you need to do is open a selling account on Amazon. And if you want to take FBA seriously, you need to pay for a professional account. It's around £30 per month or $38, $40 in the USA, okay? Very important. That means that you can send an unlimited amount to FBA, and you don't have to pay a per fee on them items. You have to pay fulfillment fees, and you have to pay fulfillment fees. You have to pay your fee to sell it. God, I forgot what it's called, the fee to sell it. You have to pay the fee to sell it, and you have to pay, God, complete mind blank, okay? But you have to pay your fee to sell it, and you have to pay your fulfillment fee, okay? You need at least 10 hours a week to get some serious traction going. You do need about 10 hours a week to get some serious momentum going with this business. I put in, honestly, about 40 hours a week when I was starting, maybe even more, okay? You don't have to do that, but I would say a minimum of 10 hours a week you want to get this thing rolling, to get this thing going, okay? You can go all in and you'll go a bit faster, or you could do about 10 hours a week, I would say, at minimum, and you can get some serious traction going that way as well. I would say you need to invest in at least one tool subscription to get started, so you can analyze data and deals. Maybe more depending on you, okay? So depending on how much money to get started, depending on how much easier and faster you want to be able to analyze deals, there's loads of tools available, just like there is in any industry, okay? I'm going to run through them very soon. At minimum, you need to invest in at least one, in my opinion, because otherwise you're not going to be able to have anything to read the data from the past, to read the prices history, to read the sales rank history. You're going to need at least one tool to do that, okay? But they're not a lot of money, okay? So obviously you need money for stock. You need at least a few £100s for stock. As I said, minimum £250, I would say. Personally, should be about £500 minimum, but you can start with 250. So we say that's the minimum. Ideally, quite a bit more. You need packaging and materials and boxes to send the items in. So if you're going to do it yourself, okay, then don't go buying too many boxes, because you do get deliveries from retailers depending on the size and all the quantities you're doing. You do get deliveries of boxes. So a lot of the boxes you can reuse, but get yourself a few boxes just to get started, and just go in there. Get yourself started with a few boxes. You need some tape and stuff. Paper tape's really good. I think they sell it on Amazon. Well, I'm sure they do. That's really good stuff. Yeah, and you need to send the items to FBA. That's what you need to get started, okay? So, how do you set up your Amazon account? Let's go into this. How do you set up your Amazon account, okay? Now, you need to go to amazon.co.uk if you're in the UK. Go to amazon.com if you're anywhere else. And you need to click on the Start Selling, okay? Now, I'm not going to go into step-by-step on this video on how you do set up your account with Amazon. I'm not going to do step-by-step, because there's quite a few steps. But what I am going to do is tell you that if you need any more information on this, then type in YouTube how to open your Amazon account, and there's some other sellers within this space that have done videos step-by-step doing that if you need to. But I'm not going to run into it. What I'm going to run into is just showing you the basics and then the tips that I've got around setting up your Amazon account, which is step number one. So you need to go to this page here, click the Start Selling, and then you need to go to this page here, which is the second step, and you need to create your account. You need to go through this whole process. It's very self-explanatory, okay? It's very self-explanatory, okay? Do not use an address you use for Amazon Prime or any other account details that cross over, okay? So this is a very, very important thing. If you have an Amazon Prime account or an Amazon account, do not use the details, especially don't use them from Amazon Prime account. You need to set up new details with all of your new details, your bank card details and stuff, and your new bank account you've set up. Don't cross over any details, because Amazon don't do that. It's against their terms of service. It's against their terms of service to buy from Prime and then sell on Prime. So they're a bit funny around that sort of stuff. Just make sure you're careful about that. Here's some other tips about opening your Amazon account, okay? So number one, make sure the new seller account you are opening does not overlap with any of the same details on an Amazon Prime account you currently have, as I just mentioned, okay? Number two, I would set up a professional account so you do not need to pay for individual items. You do not need to be a company to set up a professional account, okay? So as I mentioned earlier, you need to set up a professional account, ideally, if you're sending any amount of items in. I mean, over about 50 a month, okay? So you may as well start with a professional account. It's not a lot of money. So you need to set up a professional account, and then eventually the money will come out of your sales rather than your bank account anyway. So once you get going, you probably won't even notice that money going out, okay? Number 3, another reason to set up a pro account is to lessen the risk of Amazon temporarily suspending you in future when you go to switch to a professional account. This could be until they verify your details. So if you do set up without a professional account, when you go to switch over, Amazon may do a check on you and may suspend your account for a few days, sometimes even weeks, whilst they're doing that check. You want to avoid this at all risks, so ideally you need to start using a professional account from the beginning. Some more tips here. Number 4 is make sure you have all your documents ready to go before you start. Please make sure that you have all your documents ready to go before you start. Don't mess around with Amazon. They're not the sort of people you want to mess around with. They don't take hostages, okay? So you need all your documents ready. You need everything to be professional and to be submitted straight away. It makes your life easier, it makes you organised, and it prevents you not having the right stuff, sending the right stuff off, and doing a bit of a bodge job on the whole thing. Amazon won't appreciate that at all. Number 5, make sure your documents match up, okay? As I said, Amazon don't take any prisoners, hostages, anything like that. Make sure the documents match up. If you send an old address, for example, to Amazon, okay, and you're putting in a different address into your Amazon seller account, for example, they won't let you get away with that. And they may not verify your account for 2-3 weeks or until they've got in touch with you to do that sort of stuff. So you don't want to be sitting there twiddling your thumbs for 2 or 3 weeks if you send in the wrong bit of information. Okay, they may hold that sort of stuff against you as well. Amazon note these sort of stuff. They haven't got to be one of the best customer service companies in the world by not doing every single thing perfectly. So you've got to be careful of that. Make sure you send all the right documents. Get yourself organised. If you get rejected in this process, then stay professional with responses. This is very important. As I said, Amazon don't take hostages. Amazon understand that they make notes on every seller's accounts, okay? So they keep score of all their sellers, okay? So if you mess them around, if you're sending them unprofessional responses, things like that, then they could mark that against you. So make sure that you're professional at all times. Don't panic if you don't get accepted the first time. You should do, but if you don't, then just post in the group. It's absolutely fine. Post in my group and everyone can help you out. You'll be absolutely fine, but just make sure you stay professional. Don't send a messy message back. So let's go into this. Required tools and resources, okay? Now, just a quick affiliate disclaimer, okay? Just to let you know, so this course is completely free and I do not mind if you don't use any of this stuff, but I've gone out of my way to contact some of these suppliers that supply the tools and resources and all this sort of stuff. Some of them I've gone out of my way to see if we can get you some good deals on this stuff, to see if we can get you any sort of bonuses and, you know, see if we can get you any discounts or anything like that, okay? So feel free to not sign up with any of this sort of stuff, but I have got some discounts, bonuses, whatever, if you do want to use any of this stuff, okay? I may earn a small affiliate commission from some of the tools I've recommended in the description below. All of them are in the description below in all of these videos, okay? But please do know I'm not recommending any of these tools or resources that I do not use or that I have not used in the past. I do use all of these, or I have used them at one point in the past to be useful to me. Feel free to sign up to my links, but feel free to not sign up to them, I mean. But like, if you don't want to use them, then just don't use them. That's absolutely fine. Please feel free to just go to the website of whoever the provider is. That's absolutely fine. No hard feelings. I do not mind. But if you do want to use my links, then obviously we really, really appreciate the support on the channel for obviously creating this course completely free for everyone. Okay, so, but do what you want. We honestly don't mind. Okay, so without further ado, let's go into it. So required tools and resources, which I personally think are good for online arbitrage. So number 1 is BuyBot Pro. So I'm going to put next to all of these tools and resources what are essential and what are not essential. Okay. BuyBot Pro I would say is essential for saving time. Okay. So I'm going to go into Keeper later as well. Okay. But when I mentioned earlier about you needing to invest in at least one tool, it was Buybot Pro or Keeper at the start. Okay, personally, I use Keeper and Buybot Pro, but they both cost money. Okay, so if you're looking to save money, then you can use Buybot Pro at the start and then decide if you want to use Keeper later on. Buybot Pro has a Keeper graph in it. Okay, not the exact Keeper, obviously, because that's a different company, but it extracts information from Keeper from the actual Amazon sales, so you can have all your graphs. In my channel, I've got loads of videos around this, by the way, if you need to look into more detail. But in the Buybot Pro, they've got graphs that have all the history of products anyway. Okay, so you could just get Buybot Pro, and then obviously it's a calculator and everything as well. It works absolutely everything out. Okay, so I'm not selling anything, so I'm not going to go into too much more detail. I'm literally just letting you know that that is Buybot Pro. That's one of the tools that I use, my virtual assistants use every single day. Okay. The next one is Profit Protector Pro. So I would say this is absolutely essential after 20-ish SKUs. Okay. So save the link, make a note of it if you're not going to use it right now. But it's an absolutely amazing bit of kit. You could use it straight from the off, or you're going to need it around about 20 SKUs. Trust me. Not only because you're not going to want to sit there repricing stuff. So just to explain, all of your stuff that goes into Amazon, the price is going to fluctuate up and down all the time. And the last thing you want to be doing is sitting there looking back. I've got almost 600 SKUs of multiple product lines that my company sells. I couldn't sit there and have enough time to sit there and reprice every single one of them myself up and down or whatever. So you need a repricer, especially when you get over about 20 SKUs or from the start, depending on when you want. It's not essential to start, but pretty soon after, I would say it's essential for time saving. You're going to need something. You're going to need a repricer to change the prices of that stock to make sure you're competitive and getting enough profit. This is what I use, Profit Protector Pro. And it, once again, not selling anything, so I'm not going to go into a sale here. I'm just letting you know that's what I use. And also, it doesn't just reprice. It actually shoots your price way above the buy box sometimes, so you get a lot more profit. Okay, so not going to go into it, but that's something that I use as well, which are all in the description, obviously. Another one is deal sheets. So deal sheets are not essential if you're manual sourcing, but have huge time savers once you're used to the business model. Okay, so I've got two options for you here. Okay, so when I was starting out, I used online arbitrage deals. Okay, and I have used it in the most recent months. Okay, the next one down is DealTab. Okay, and DealTab is actually my company. Okay, and that's not even launched yet. Okay, well, it may be by the time you watch this video, but that's not even launched yet. So there's only a private Facebook group which you can join at the moment. Okay, that's not launched yet. DealTab. DealTab is going to be a premium online arbitrage deal sheet where it's going to be specific for specific sellers' needs and more of a premium thing. Okay, online arbitrage is a deal sheet. It's a regular deal sheet that a lot of online arbitragers use. Okay, now, the last thing you want to be sitting doing once you're used to this business model is manually sourcing all of your items. You cannot sit there manually sourcing all of your items all the time. It simply gets to a stage where you just need to outsource that part. I've got virtual assistants that do it now, okay? But before that, because virtual assistants are quite a lot more expensive, you can spend money on deal sheets and they can save you time at that early stage, okay? Now, deal sheets are not the absolute gold dust of the industry, okay? Now, what I mean by that is that, look, sometimes the deals that you buy from deal sheets can get pretty busy because you've got to remember you're not the only one that's seeing them deals, okay? Sometimes deal sheets can get a little bit busy. Quite a few sellers can jump on the listing. Now, there's a few things you've got to do here. There's a few different ways that you can use a deal sheet, okay, before you get virtual assistants. You can either, first of all, what you can do is you can send your stuff in fast, okay, and hope to get the sales. Set your good minimum, so you're a couple of quid below or whatever the sale price. Get some good minimums, okay? And then if you're one of the first people to sell the stuff, then that means that you're selling it before everyone else potentially has even hit the fulfillment centers, okay? So that's the first thing you can do. You can send your stock in really fast. The second thing you can do is actually take lower margins. So most deal sheets that are handed out to quite a few people, they're going to reduce in price quite a lot, and then once the sellers drop off when they've sold their stuff, then the price will go back up. Okay, so the next thing you can do is sell at a lower margin and do a higher volume. Okay, using a deal sheet that's sent out to a few people. That's what you can do. So you can sell at a lower volume. Some items will go out of stock before too many sellers have bought them anyway. So if you manage to buy items from a store and they go out of stock when only 8 sellers have bought them, okay, then that's good, because that means that there's only limited demand, which means that if you stick to that price, then soon enough you'll get your sale at a good price, okay? Because retailers haven't got unlimited stock, remember. Or the next thing you can do is just wait for the price to recover. See if the price goes down, because there's a lot of sellers have jumped on from some deal sheets, then fine, sit on the stock. Like I've got sales today, which I bought from a deal sheet 2.5 months ago or something like that, 2 months ago. And now I'm getting the price that I wanted because I waited it out. I didn't drop my price. I waited it out, and now I've got sales. So there's a few ways you've got to use them, but just don't assume that whatever price you see on a deal sheet is the price that it's going to be selling for necessarily, because unfortunately some sellers will keep reducing the price and the price will go down. So that's just a quick top tip there. Okay. So number 4 is Keeper. Okay, so it's not essential if you use BuyBook Pro, as I said before, because there is a graph in BuyBook Pro you can use if you want to save money. Keeper's only about £13, and I'm not affiliated with Keeper whatsoever, so literally nothing in it for me apart from saying I still use it. And I've been selling for 15 months now, and I've had a Keeper subscription since I started. I just really like to use Keeper as well. But I've got the privilege of being able to afford, at this stage in my business, a lot more than I could afford to start with, My outgoings hundreds or way over £1,000 for this business on stuff like this and virtual assistants and stuff, so I can afford this stuff. At the start, you may not want to spend the extra money, or you may not even want it. A lot of people just use the BuyBook Pro graphs, and that's absolutely fine. So do your own research. I've got videos once again in my YouTube channel of me using all this stuff, so have a little look. So number 5 is Accountant. So you need to do your own research here. Okay. Now I've just started using, or maybe I've been using them for a while now. Now, whenever, depending on when you're watching this video, I use Osmi Accountants, okay? Now, they're some of the top in the UK, okay? And they're the most competitively priced. You need a good accountant if you're going to use one. So before we get into accountants, I would say an accountant is, if you're really particular with your books, right, then you need to use one to start with, okay? Some people use them to start with. My old coach said I should use one to start with. I didn't, and then when it came to me getting an accountant, I had to pay about £700 or £800 to back up my books, okay, for them to back up my books. So I essentially almost paid the same as what I would have done anyway. Maybe not quite, but almost the same. But then I felt all over the place, okay? So you can get an accountant later, or you can get one to start with. Looking back, if I wanted to be really on top of things, I should have had one to start with, okay? So the accountants, that's the accountants that I use. They've actually been really, really kind and told me that people can have, with my link below, £100 off their first month with them, which is super, super nice of them to me. But yeah, that's who I use, and yeah, looking forward to a good future with them. They're one of the most competitive in the industry. You could use it to start with to stay really, really organised, or you could wait and do it later on if you want to just pay to backdate yourself later and feel a bit all over the place. If I'm honest, it is good to stay on top of it to start with. Okay, it's good to stay on top of it, but do your own research depending on when you want to use one. So number 6 is Chrome extensions. So some Chrome extensions are paid, some are free. You need Google Chrome to start with, obviously, to use these. So obviously, depending on if you buy any of the subscriptions here, BuyBook Pro, Profit Protector Pro, Keeper, once you buy them, then obviously you get these subscriptions of the Chrome extensions for free as an add-on, obviously, once you buy them. And then Top Cashback is completely free. Amazonia Right Click is completely free. I love Top Cashback, and we're going to go into that later on, but I love it. The Chrome extension, some people don't know that you've got a Chrome extension for Top Cashback, and it's a game changer because it makes you not forget that you can get cashback on this particular site. So Talking about cashback, number 7 is cashback. So this is essential for more profit. This is probably one of the first steps that you should take after setting up your Amazon account. You need to jump on cashback because it's free money. I didn't even know about cashback when I started this, before I started this business, and now I've made hundreds and hundreds of pounds out of cashback. Could it be over 1,000? Probably over 1,000, way over £1,000 actually, thinking about it. So top cashback is my number 1. Okay, they're my absolute number 1. Top cashback are great. Like, you know, they're really reseller friendly. They don't mind you doing high volumes of stuff. You've got the Chrome extension to go with it. You just click it, ping it on, and then you get cashback for everything you buy that is obviously eligible with top cashback. Honey is similar. Honey's great. I've got thousands of points with Honey. Honey are great because they actually give you points for everything you buy as well. Once again, it's a Chrome extension, which I forgot to mention in the last slide. Honey do a Chrome extension, so you turn it on and you get points for whatever you buy. Not only do you get points, you get potentially get discounts for everything you buy. So they will run a check on all coupons available throughout the whole internet, and they will test them in your basket and potentially save you a lot of money on that individual purchase. I've saved hundreds and hundreds of pounds using Honey, not only for the points, but to actually get money off anything I'm buying. So you need Honey. It's completely free. Both of these are free. Delivery Deals is a paid service. It's £15 a month. But with Delivery Deals, you get 10% cash back on certain stores, and you get that sent to you pretty soon, within 4 to 6 weeks, and that can build up really, really nicely. It's a limit of £1,000 a year. But yeah, that's I'd say on average I'm earning about £120, £150 a month just from Delivery Deals, minus their subscription, obviously. So absolute game changer, really. So, everyone, that is the end of part 1. So this is the summary and the next steps. So thanks so much for watching Online Arbitrage for Beginners full course, part 1. So this is introduction and Amazon account setup. So number 1 I want you to do before the next video is set up the Amazon account. So if you're ready to go, then you need to set up the Amazon account. Number 2, get essential and free tools. So pick which tools are essential to you, or services which are essential to you. I've given you the best I can. I've tried to contact suppliers and stuff to make sure that you can get get any discount codes or anything like that where I can. Decide which ones are best for you. Feel free to not use any of my links if you don't want to, once again, but just decide which ones are best for you. You're going to need at least one tool to get started. Make sure you get all the free tools, obviously, because they're completely free, and make the most of them, especially the cashback. Number 3 is familiarise yourself with everything. It can be quite overwhelming, so just maybe you don't need any more. I would not suggest looking at loads of videos of other sellers, because I'm going to go over everything in this course, and it could be a bit overwhelming for you. I don't want anyone to put you off stuff, okay? Just familiarise yourself and think about the whole process so you get a bit more used to how it's going to go. Number 4 is join my Facebook community. It's in the description below. Just join it, come in, say hello, let everyone know that you've watched this free YouTube course from me on how to Amazon. It's completely free. And it's always going to be free, that group. So come in, say hello, with just a bunch of really, really nice people. There's a lot of mods that look after that group to make sure it's really nice. It's very engaged. I'm in there every day, so come say hi to us in the group. Now, if you could as well, please like, comment, and subscribe to this video if you think you found it helpful. Once again, it's taken me days and days and days to do this, to make it as best as possible. I've got loads more coming out, but I'm actually not gonna do any more. I'm not gonna release any more until I get at least 20 likes and or comments for this video. So please comment to let me know. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Please let me know in the comments below, because I want to get it out to more people, because I want as many people to get this for free as possible, so they don't actually have to spend any money on courses, and also just gives me the feedback I know before to actually go out there and record part 2 of this, which I haven't done yet, but I will do once the video gets either 20 likes or 20 comments. If you wouldn't mind going ahead and doing that, then that gives me the feedback I know to get started. So everyone, thank you so much for everything. Really, really appreciate you watching this video today. I'm going to go have some dinner now. Stay well, good luck, and I'll see you soon.